Most people thought I was invisible, just a janitor in a glass tower. But they didn't know I was memorizing their secrets while they spent their nights trying to break me. Hi, I'm Joseph. 5 years ago, if you told me my old supervisor would be sitting across from my desk one day, holding a resume in his hands, asking me for a job, I'd have called you crazy. But let me back up, because it started a lot worse than that. For years, I worked the night shift as a janitor in one of those big glass office towers downtown, mopping floors under buzzing lights while everyone who mattered had already gone home. Most people in that building never looked at me twice. I was furniture. Some of them left trash behind on purpose, just because they knew I'd be the one picking it up. My supervisor had a favorite move, too. Every shift, he'd toss a mop at my feet and say, "Joseph, get used to that mop. This is you, man."
This is a case of status-based projection. By devaluing others, the aggressor attempts to solidify their own fragile hierarchical superiority.
And the guy standing around him would laugh. I'd just stand there under those lights, jaw tight, and let it go. Because arguing never changed a thing with people like that. I'd clock out around sunrise, pass all those suits walking in with their coffee, and head home to an apartment that never quite felt like enough. But there was this one older tenant on the 12th floor, some business owner who kept his office open late, who always said good morning to me like I was actually somebody. I didn't think much of it at the time. I should have. Here's the thing nobody knew. While I pushed that mop through empty conference rooms, I was listening. Business owners in that building left their doors open, arguing about contracts, payroll, growth. And I started remembering things I had no business remembering. Names, numbers, who was fighting with who. After my shift, instead of sleeping, I'd hit the library. Books on accounting, books on management, free courses online at 2 a.m, running on 4 hours of sleep and pure stubbornness. Nobody in my life knew I was quietly building something they couldn't see coming. Years of saving, dollar by dollar. And then I did something that terrified me. I quit my janitor job and bought a small cleaning company. The kind that was one bad month from shutting down for good. 2 employees, that was it. Me, cleaning offices by day, chasing clients by afternoon, drowning in paperwork by midnight. The first year nearly broke me. We lost our biggest client in month 3, and for about 2 weeks straight, I genuinely thought I'd made the worst mistake of my life. My old coworkers heard about it and about died laughing. "He started his own cleaning business," they said. "Same job, more stress, way less sleep." Honestly, I couldn't even argue with that part. I just went back to work. But I kept my head down and kept building, and slowly, that struggling little company turned into something real. Better contracts, better clients, a crew who actually gave a damn. A few years in, we landed the biggest contract of our lives, maintaining the very same tower where I used to mop floors at 2 a.m, invisible to everyone inside. I stood in that lobby as the owner this time, not the janitor. And for a second, I just had to close my eyes and breathe. My hands were actually shaking when I signed that contract, and I don't think I've ever been prouder of anything in my life. Then the layoffs hit that building, hard. One by one, familiar faces started showing up at my office, resumes in hand, asking if we were hiring. And then, one quiet afternoon, my old supervisor walked in. The same man who used to toss a mop at my feet. He sat down across from my desk, eyes on his own resume, and started his pitch before he even looked up. He didn't recognize me at first, not until I said his name, and then he just kind of froze. Took him a second to even say my name back. Around that same time, I learned something that hit me even harder than that interview did. That older tenant from the 12th floor, the one who always said good morning, turns out he'd been watching me for years, noticing I was first in, last out, treating every job like it mattered. When I started my company, he became my very first major client, and I always figured it was because I had something to prove. He set me straight himself. "Kid," he told me, "I've hired plenty of resumes better than yours. Most of them folded the second things got hard. You never did. That's not luck. That's character. And character's the only thing I've ever bet on. I hired several of my old coworkers that week, the ones who always treated me with basic respect back when I had nothing. My old supervisor asked me straight up why he wasn't one of them. I looked at him and said, "Honestly, I don't remember how well you manage people, but I will never forget how you treated them." He didn't say another word. He just stood up and walked out, past the same lobby, through the same doors I used to mop at 2 in the morning. I watched him go, and I didn't feel good about it. I just felt done. That man never knew it, but he handed me the exact fuel I needed. And these days, that's the only kind of resume I actually read.
Have you ever had the chance to prove everyone who doubted you wrong? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell.